Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Timothy Fosu Mensah has completed his move from Manchester United to Bayer Leverkusen. I think we've received a fee in the region of 1.5 million. He signed a contract with Bayer Leverkusen until 2024 and he will wear the number 24 shirt. Timothy Fosu Mensah rejected a 3-year contract from Manchester United. Now also Ajax were in for him, Marseille were in for him, and Hertha were in for him. Solskjaer did confirm that he was allowed to leave in this January transfer window. Now we did get Timothy Fosu Mensah from Ajax back in 2014. That's when he joined our academy and he made his senior debut for the club in 2016. And he made around 30 appearances for Manchester United. Obviously, he did play 3 games this season, but his only start came against Crystal Palace on the opening day of the season. Don't forget, he did have loan spells with Crystal Palace and Fulham. But he seldom played for Manchester United. So he's the first player to leave in this January transfer window. And I'm expecting a few more players to leave in this window as well. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said that Romero and Rojo are free to leave in this January transfer window. He says their contracts won't be extended. Now, I want to delve into some news on Paul Pogba. So, Paul Pogba could join PSG in the summer. Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, has been in negotiations with PSG. Now, Pochettino wants Paul Pogba at PSG. He's identified him as his number 1 target. Now, we have named our asking price for Paul Pogba. We want around £75 million. He hasn't only been linked with a move to PSG. You know, Paul Pogba's been relentlessly linked with a return to Juventus. Don't forget, Paul Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus. And swap deals have been high on the agenda. Don't forget, Juventus did offer us Aaron Ramsey as part of a swap deal for Pogba. They also offered us Douglas Costa as part of a swap deal for Paul Pogba, but we rejected that. But he said we are interested in an exchange deal. Probably we want a world-class player in exchange. Paul Pogba's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before, so he has had a long-running transfer saga. But like I say, if Pogba leaves, it will be this summer. You know, he won't leave in this January transfer window. Now, don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said earlier on this season that he can be convinced to stay at the club if the club win trophies. Paul Pogba's just recently come back from injury. He did have an ankle injury earlier on in the season, but since he came back from that ankle injury, I think he's put some very good performances out, so I've got to give him credit. He recently scored the goal in the 1-0 win against Burnley. It was a volley, but it did get deflected off Lowton. Paul Pogba was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, we triggered that 1 year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. As far as I'm aware at the moment, there has been no talks over getting him a long-term contract at the club, but it did recently say that Woodward is preparing to enter contract talks with Paul Pogba and his agent Mino Raiola. Now, Mino Raiola told 2 Sport last month that Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave, and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Then he slightly changed his statement. But Solskjaer was furious with Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola because of the time of the announcement, because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. I think he's been at Man United now over 5 years since he rejoined. He's made over 100 appearances for the club in all competitions. He's won 3 trophies at the club, and that was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. Don't forget, we had him when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. So that is the breaking news on Paul Pogba. Now, Man United have been hit with a triple injury blow ahead of our game against Liverpool on Sunday. Now, Anthony Martial, he came off towards the end of the 1-0 win against Burnley, I think, as he got a hamstring problem. It also said that Nemanja Matic sustained an injury, and we've obviously got Victor Lindelof injured. He's got a back problem. Obviously, Eric Bailly, he's just come back from a neck injury. Like I mentioned, Paul Pogba has just come back from injury, and Luke Shaw has also just come back from injury. And Luke Shaw was out injured earlier on in the season, and Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury last season. Now, this is going to be a very, very good game against Liverpool on Sunday. The preview for the game will be coming up tomorrow or Friday, like I've said. Now, we are coming into this game against Liverpool, top of the Premier League by 3 points. Because we recently beat Burnley 1-0. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the first manager to get us at the top at this stage of the season since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. If we do beat Liverpool, we will be 6 points clear, and then we will be in a very, very good position. Solskjaer did say after the 1-0 win against Burnley, he's ready for the Liverpool test, and he said the trip to Anfield has come at the best time. Now, Man United and Liverpool is the biggest game in English football because they are the 2 most successful clubs historically. Now, Liverpool obviously won their last game against Aston Villa. They're beating them 4-1 in the FA Cup 3rd round, but they are winless in their last 3 league games. Our last win at Anfield was back in 2016 when Wayne Rooney had scored that late goal. We also had a good win at Anfield, was it back in 2015 when we beat them 2-1 and Juan Mata scored both goals. Beating them at Anfield back in 2012 as well. That's when Robin Van Persie was playing for us. But Anfield is a fortress. Liverpool are unbeaten in 69 Premier League games at Anfield. Obviously, the game at Anfield last season was 2-0 Liverpool. We lost at Anfield back in December 2018, 3-1. That was Jose Mourinho's final game as Man United manager. And like I say, Liverpool have got a good squad. Obviously, Mohamed Salah, he's a world-class player. There has been some games this season, though, where he hasn't been clinical enough in front of goal. There was rumours earlier on in the season saying that Mohamed Salah is unhappy at Liverpool. Sadio Mane is also a very, very good player. Shows good attacking intent, he creates good chances and he scores goals. Diego Jota's also made a fantastic impact at Liverpool. Diego Jota joined Liverpool last summer from Wolves. He's currently out with injury at the moment. Liverpool have also got Firmino. That's very, very good. Liverpool have obviously got Origi. He's their backup striker. He's done quite well, but I think he could be leaving Liverpool in the summer. Liverpool have also got Shaqiri. Shaqiri could also be leaving them in the summer. He makes an impact from the bench, doesn't he, Shaqiri? They've obviously got Thiago. He's had a couple of injuries since he became a Liverpool player. Liverpool got him last summer from Bayern Munich. Don't forget, we wanted Thiago. They've also got Jordan Henderson, who I do rate, but he's certainly not a world-class midfielder. They've also got Jorginho Wijnaldum. Now, I think he's another player that could be leaving Liverpool in the summer. I think Barcelona want him. I think he recently rejected a new contract, didn't he, Jorginho Wijnaldum? That's what I heard a lot of Liverpool fans saying. Liverpool have got a lot of midfielders in their team. Obviously, they've got Naby Keita, who's one of their midfielders as well. But he isn't one of Liverpool's first choice midfielders. He's currently out with injury at the moment. They've obviously got Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. He's made an impact, but he's actually been injury prone at Liverpool because he's sustained some serious injuries. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Fabinho, he's another one of their midfielders. He's predominantly a holding midfielder, but you can put him as a centre-half. I think Liverpool have put him as a centre-half a few times because of the injuries they've got to their centre-halves. They've also got James Milner. Obviously, he's not one of their first-choice midfielders either. I think James Milner could be leaving at the end of the season. Will he retire, or will he go to another club before he retires? Liverpool have also got Curtis Jones, a young player. So yeah, a lot of midfielders in their team. They've got two fantastic fullbacks in Andrew Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. They've obviously got the best centre-half in the world in Virgil van Dijk. He's the second most expensive centre-half in the world. Virgil van Dijk's out for the season with a bad injury. They've got Joe Gomez, who's one of their first choice centre-halves. Now he's out with injury. He's got a bad injury. Matip is out with injury at the moment. He's one of their backup centre-halves. But I heard that he could be available for Sunday. Liverpool have also got that Tsikmas. They got Tsikmas last summer. He's currently out with injury. They've obviously got a very, very good goalkeeper in Allenson. Probably the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. Now, Liverpool, like I say, let a few players go last year. Obviously, Nathaniel Klein left them. Dejan Lovren left them. Adam Lallana left them, Harry Wilson went out on loan, Trivella left them, and Hoover left them. I hate to say it, but, Jurgen Klopp is probably one of the best managers in the world at this present time, but certainly not overall. Klopp has been Liverpool manager now, is it, for nearly 6 years. Liverpool brought him in 2015. Didn't start well, though, at Liverpool. His record after his first 29 games was absolutely disastrous. Liverpool is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he was at Liverpool, he was at Dortmund. He won a few trophies at Dortmund, and before he was at Dortmund, he was at Mainz 05, and he wasn't good there either. At Liverpool, he's won 4 trophies so far. Last season he won the Premier League. That was Liverpool's first title in 30 years. He won the FIFA Club World Cup, and he also won the Super Cup. And he won the Champions League the season before. Liverpool have won the Champions League 6 times. And I think it was last season Klopp extended his contract with Liverpool until 2024. But like I've said, Klopp is probably one of the best managers they've had in this generation. Liverpool had Brendan Rodgers, didn't they, at one point? I think they enjoyed one good season under him. At one point they had Roy Hodgson. There was very, very poor under Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson is a bad manager anyway. At one point they had Kenny Dalglish, good player, but he weren't really a good manager. Rafa Benitez was good for them because they won the Champions League under Rafa Benitez. Gerard Houllier, he did pretty good. He died a few weeks ago. A long time ago, they had Bill Shankly and Paisley. I can't remember how they did. It was that long ago. We play Liverpool twice in a week because obviously we've got them in the FA Cup 4th round at Old Trafford. And it'll be interesting to see how both teams approach that game. But yeah, I think in this game against Liverpool on Sunday, Solskjaer is obviously going to make changes from the 1-0 win against Burnley recently. There'll be starting 11 prediction coming up. That will be coming up after the preview. After Liverpool, we do play Fulham in the league. Manchester United should be winning that. But we've been very, very good away from home. Like I said, we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League in a year. We are certainly in this title race. But, prior to the Burnley game, Solskjaer warned Man United to stay humble and not think we've cracked it. He said, didn't he, after the 1-0 win against Wolves earlier on in the season that, we're not in this title race as yet, but that's just Solskjaer playing mind games. But he said if we are still challenging at the top come March, he'll start to believe that we are in the title race. We're top of the league now, like I mentioned to you earlier though. Can we stay top of the league? If we win the Premier League, it will be our first Premier League title since 2013 and it will be our 21st title overall. It would be remarkable if we won it this season. But like I said, there's 3 trophies we can pursue. We can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. I've already said to you what would represent a very good season for Man United, and that would be to finish in the top 4, the top 3, and win a trophy. It's very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under Solskjaer, and, we haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years. And obviously, a lot of Man United fans are now Ollie in. Maybe there's still the odd few that are Ollie out. But certainly earlier on in the season, there was a lot of Man United fans that were Ollie out, and I was included. Because I was very critical of him earlier on in the season with how inconsistent we was, but with how good we have been in recent months, my perception has slowly started to change on him. No one thought we'd have been top of the Premier League, midway through January nearly 2021. You wouldn't have thought we'd have been joint top of the Premier League at the end of 2020 and at the start of January 2021. With how poor we was at the beginning of last year and how poor we was at the start of this season. Solskjaer's job is safe, definitely now. He's not under any pressure at all. He will certainly be Man United manager at the end of this season. I think he's going to be given at least another season at the football club. This is Solskjaer's second full season at the moment. You can say he's gained some managerial experience, and he's learned quite a bit on the job, reflecting how long he's been at the club. He's been Man United manager now over 2 years. But you can say there's still a few things he's got to learn on the job. I think his decision making has got to be good persistently. Now, in some games, his decision making's good, but in some games, his decision making's very, very poor. And I said that's one of my biggest concerns about Solskjaer. But, he's been under pressure quite a few times as Man United manager. Because, like I mentioned on my recent videos, we've had bad periods under him. Like I said, you can say Solskjaer was lucky not to be sacked after us getting knocked out of the Champions League. You can say he was lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. You can say he was lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season. Don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was the favourite to take over at Man United. Obviously now Pochettino's out of the equation because, Pochettino is PSG's manager. But, there was quite a few managers on our agenda. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Because we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left, and that was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. But we do need to give Solskjaer a lot of credit. The way he's turned a corner. He's got us top of the Premier League table. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Last season got us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and also got us 3rd. Like I've mentioned, we've missed out on quite a few players under Solskjaer, but I've still got to make an admission and say that he has made good signings since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odin Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. Basically, we are reluctant to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with transfers. Because I think you can say this is another transfer window Solskjaer's been let down with again. Solskjaer recently revealed his January transfer plans and he said, January signings are unlikely, but he's hoping that a deal or 2 can be done. This is his 5th transfer window as Man United manager, Solskjaer's, and the transfer window shuts in just under 3 weeks. But he did say a few times last year, didn't he, that, wasn't expecting a busy January transfer window, and Woodward said, he will back Solskjaer. And he said towards the end of last year, we will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Like I've said to you time and time again, the board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. We've had Woodward at the club since 2012, and we've had the Glazers at the football club since 2005. But like I say, we have seen a lot of players leave the football club, you know, since he got recommended in. So yeah, these definitely positives to take. I think, you know, we've got to start beating the big teams, you know, to prove that we are genuine title contenders. Because we haven't proven ourselves against the top teams yet this season. You know, we beat a few top teams, you know, last season, though, didn't it? Actually, our record against the top 6 sides last season was actually very, very good. But like I say, we appointed Ollie in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We're given the job permanently, reflect on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But yeah, the players are going to leave Man United this year. Fosu Mensah is obviously the first one to leave in this January transfer window. Like I say, Romero and Rojo are going to be leaving. Will Jones leaving this January transfer window. Will Lingard leaving this January transfer window. I give you the news on Lingard earlier on. Sky Sports are saying that Jesse Lingard's representatives have been in initial discussions with Nice, who are from France, I think. Sheffield United have obviously been in for Jesse Lingard as well. It said towards the end of last year that Jesse Lingard's agent was talking with Real Sociedad, and it said Villa were in for him, Celtic and Rangers were also in for him. Garlo should leave the club in this window. His loan expires at the end of this month. Will Daniel James go out on loan, and will Brandon Williams go out on loan? And I think more players will leave Man United in the summer. Like I say, Paul Pogba could leave in the summer. Could Matic leave in the summer? Could Juan Mata leave in the summer? But there's also a lot of players we will keep at the football club as well. So, there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.